protecting them from the cold, but also from the water. So can you introduce how did they hatch? In the year 2017, we began to stay with these penguins. You can imagine my hands as the penguins. These are the two penguins. They will shout to each other when they meet, when they fell in love. And they are so happy. So when we see this, we immediately prepare the room for them. It's the wedding room. And at the end of October, we were not sure whether they can hatch the eggs. So we were very nervous, so we added more stuff, and we watched them for 24 hours every day. And it's about 35 days later they gave birth to 2 eggs. So we were really excited. For chinstrap penguins, they usually give birth to 2 eggs, but this rate is still very low, so we worried a lot. We worried 2 babies may be a great burden, pressure to the parents. So we tried. We keepers play as the foster parents were really diligent, and we raised them up with every effort. Our netizens want to ask, for the chinstrap penguins, do they only have the black line except for the black lines below the eyes? Do they have other differences from the traditional penguins? There are 18 types of penguins. They all have a black back and a white belly. You see, the faces of these penguins are also black. The foster parents are really diligent, and they love these baby penguins a lot. They raise them like their own children. And for us, we keep the environment very clean, and for them to have a health condition. And some penguin parents, they protect their babies. And whenever they see us approaching, even actually we approach to clean the room, they want to stop us from approaching their babies. These two babies really have insatiable appetites because they are growing up quickly. They eat a lot. Just like me, I also have a very big appetite. I can eat a lot of chicken. Like their parents can only eat 5 to 6 slices of fishes for every meal, but the baby penguins can eat up to 10 fish.
Will some of the parents of the chinstrap penguins, as I also know something about the upbringing of penguins, will some of the parents of the penguin throw up their food and give the food to the baby penguins? So usually, if the penguins is in wild environment, this kind of case can happen. However, due to the earlier incident, there are 4,000 adult penguins got affected. However, here in our aquarium, we have abundant food for them. This kind of cases will not happen. That's why those baby penguins can grow up very quickly and more rapid than the wild penguins. So in our aquarium, there are a lot of foodie baby penguins. And there are a lot of foster penguin parents to help raise those baby penguins. So in the world, there are around 18 species of penguins, and around a dozen of them live in the Antarctic area. Some of the penguins here in our aquarium are local Antarctic penguins. What's the ambient temperature here? Usually we will keep the room temperature to around 0. That's the most comfortable temperature for penguins. Just like us, human beings, we will try to keep our room temperature in around 28 Celsius degrees. For example, if you keep, however, you can still survive in the northern area. Now we can see that those two baby penguins are eating fish. I also want to know, a lot of penguins are more fluffy, and they are white. I think there are some misunderstanding here. Now, let's look at this penguin. This kind of penguin is rarely seen. This, you can see that their feather has distinguished features. It's because they are molting currently. Usually penguins' feather will keep them warm. However, their weather will get defected. in that case, they will automatically molt. We see those penguins in the corner. They are all in molting stage. When they are molting, their feather cannot protect them and keep themselves warm. That's why they will stay still. Just now, some netizens also asked another question. What is the outside temperature in the northeast area, and what is the room temperature here? Currently, the temperature of Dalian is around 0 to 5. And our indoor temperature will be controlled at 0. And I also want to know that if the outside temperature is already 0 to 5, can they survive outside? Theoretically, they can. Sometimes we also leave them outside. However, they are too curious about the world, and they will try to eat anything they found. That will and also some of the visitors will feed them and feed something that they can't really eat, such as bread or some snacks. The penguins will eat them, however, they cannot digest. That's why we will keep them captive. This is a way for us to protect them. You just mentioned that these penguins are very curious about the world, and now that I'm already here for a few minutes, I really found them that they are really curious. I noticed that these two baby penguins just sit in front of me and looking at me. They will observe my appearance. Sometimes they look at my shoes, and sometimes they look at the microphone. They are just like little kids. So the other day, I also found that these penguins are very curious about us, just like they've never seen someone this tall before. However, their IQ are not that high. But they look very smart. That's just from the appearance. After feeding them for such a long time, they still cannot remember me. So previously, there is a saying in China that if you can feed the baby, then you are the mother. That's the same goes to the penguins. Some netizens are also very curious because they want to know whether these penguins can eat chopped fish or just the whole fish. Now I'll give you a demonstration. So usually when you feed these penguins, will they just approach you automatically? Yes. This penguin looks very embarrassed. I'm not sure whether it can eat fish or not. This is a very delicious Japanese cuisine, actually. You see that let's just feed that penguin. He look a little bit shy. Can I feed one as well? Yes, but I'm not sure if you can take this smelly fish. Now all of the penguins are focused on the fish. They just swallow directly. They will not chew at all because they don't have teeth. They will just swallow the whole fish. This is just the main course. Some part of the main course. We also have other kind of fish such as krill, shrimp, etc. We can see that they have very good diet here. So this is white eyebrow penguin. Usually they will eat 20 or even 30 to 40 fish. And baby penguins can eat 10 to 15 fish, sometimes even more. If they eat more, will they grow very fast? Yes, actually they will. Because the summertime in Antarctic area is very short. If you cannot eat enough before the winter's coming, then you will not survive. Our signal is not that stable because we are in a very closed area here. So if some of you have any question, please do not hesitate to leave your question in our comment section. Our live broadcasting is very educational, and you can learn a lot about penguins. So after watching this live broadcast, I'm sure you will be a semi-professional of penguin. The keeper Han Han is very humorous. Later on, we will add an interaction session with the netizens. Now we will look at the baby penguins here.
We want to raise a question and for our netizens to answer. Can you guess whether it's a boy penguin or a girl penguin? You observed that some penguins are very strong and aggressive. Those are the male penguins. Like the peacocks, it's very easy to identify whether it's a male or female peacock. Have you ever heard the joke that in the Atlantics, what the people are doing? And one penguin answered, eat and sleep and beat Dodo. Dodo is another penguin. And this kind of accident often happens. The people who can fight and who can win, they can win the wives. Like if they like this place, they like this penguin, they will fight for it. And the female penguins really very
realistic.
Whenever they started to fall in love with another penguin, we will start to build the room for them. So that's really realistic. And we used a very special stone to monitor their living condition in the Antarctica. In the Atlantic region, because the temperature is very low. But if you lay some pebbles on the ground, so there will be distance from the ground, and this will be good to the eggs. So, are these penguins boys all girls. And you can see here the chinstrap penguins. When penguin is shouting there, they are shouting for their friend. Because they want to gather their friends so they can create the group. Penguins are also social animals. They want to stay in groups and remain in touch with each other. Please prepare in your mind because the voice when they shout is not very nice. It even sounds silly. Because from their appearance, you cannot tell that the voice is actually not that cute. I found that from this wall, Aries penguin keep a distance from each other. It looks like they are in a group, but actually they keep a distance from each other with 1 meter. So people think penguins should stay close to each other to prevent from the cold. But actually, they have a sense of privacy. So only the couples and the penguins who love each other, they will stay very close to each other. So look at this pair of penguins. They stay together with less than 1 meter because they are a couple. So only the penguins who are in relationship and who are couples, they will stay close to each other. So if in the schools, if they stay close, people can identify that they are in relationship, though you'd better not do this at schools. So this signal is very obvious. Our netizens showed different answers about the sexual gender. We will answer your question in 2 minutes. And we can see that the penguins who fell in love with each other will stand together. Are there any penguins who is hatching the egg? That's very difficult and very rare to see. And during the breeding season, almost all the penguins will stay beside the window. Now let's review the answer about the gender of the penguins. The answer is penguin is kind of bird. Actually, it doesn't have very obvious difference on gender because they look all the same. There is only one difference, that's the shape. The male penguins will be stronger. and bigger than the female penguins. But are there any female penguins bigger than male penguins? Yes, sometimes, but it's very scarce. About 99% of male penguins are bigger and stronger than the female penguins. So, when can we wait to that period for them to be adult, to be matured? That's 2 years. So we can only have this answer until 2 years later, because we can only tell the gender difference after they are 2 years old. Actually, we can also test the gene. But this test will hurt them. So I don't think anyone can have the right answer.
So, dear netizens, I'll give you a brief recap. We are currently at the Shengya Aquarium in Dalian, and we are currently in the South Antarctica peninsula of this aquarium. So if you want to visit this penguin exhibition, then you can see that there are a lot of other visitors over there. Then you will be one of them. You can see that the penguins are very naughty. It's biting me with its bill. They are really very naughty. And they are also very curious. The minute they see anything, they will try to bite it. Taking care of penguins is a very tough job. So we understand that you've been in this industry for a long time. Can you tell us a little bit about the funny stuff between you and the penguins? There are a lot of interesting stuff. So we know that these, as the keeper of these penguins, do you have anything to say to the visitors who's watching these penguins? I sincerely hope that since this is an aquarium, we try to be educational and environmental friendly. Now with the global warming become more and more serious. As one of the keepers of penguin, we will want to conserve the penguins indoor and also the penguins outdoor. We need to let our offspring also have the opportunity to look at the adorability of those penguins and let them see the penguins in person rather than just in videos. Do you have any question, or just give those netizens some quiz? Okay, let's look at those penguins standing right there. There are 5 giant penguins. Do you know what species are they? So this is our last question. Let's see if any netizen know what species are those penguins. These penguins that have yellow mark on their neck. So just now we've already looked at the chinstrap penguin and also Papua penguin. So what species are they? Let's just disclose the answer because it's a little bit difficult. This penguin is called king penguin. There is an anecdote about this king penguin because when back then when people were walking along the Antarctica area, we saw this. We were walking at the brink of the Antarctic area and we saw this very giant penguin. They look like Caesar penguin and they are very king style. And we couldn't even differentiate whether they are emperor penguin or king penguin. Actually, these penguins are king penguin. They look very similar to emperor penguin. A lot of you cannot differentiate them. I'll tell you how to differentiate them. Emperor penguin is even bigger than king penguins. So king penguins have this yellow mark and it's very bright. However, the emperor penguin's yellow mark is not that bright, especially when they are kids. You can Google them. You can Google the kiwi. They look just like kiwis. So as they grow bigger, they will be more and more beautiful. That's why we like king and penguins because they are very elegant and beautiful. Their character are very mild. However, they are not that friendly to humans. When we approach, they will also attack us. So these king penguins will also get into fight with baby penguins, even though they are very big. Their character is too mild to win the fight. We also see some of the penguins are laying on the ground. So some netizens are asking, what are they doing? Are they sleeping? Yes, exactly, they are sleeping. So for those penguins who are laying on the slope, are they sleeping as well? Yes, so we see that some of them are standing and some of them are laying on the ground. So these penguins can choose to stand to sleep or lay down on the ground to sleep. There are different options depending on their own comfortability. At this time, this is the right time for the penguins to take a nap. So usually they are the most active in the morning and in the evening. If you want to see how active they are, then you should come in the morning or in the afternoon. So some people also say that these penguins who are originally from Antarctica, if they live here in our aquarium, will they still be very happy? This is also a challenge we are in face with because they are not that free. However, I don't see it that way because yes, they are being captured in the aquarium. However, our environment, it's strictly controlled. And these penguins will have their own creativity sessions. So each day we will spend a few time for them. We will give them a few time to play around, and we will blow bubbles in front of them. They will be very curious about the bubbles, and they've never seen them before. And sometimes we will also let those penguins to walk around. We will distribute food on the ground so that they can walk around. We will try to use this kind of way to let the kids, let the children know these penguins and try to raise their awareness in animal protection. Yes, we try to let every one of you to get to understand the sea animals and the ocean. We know that the penguins can swim. Do we have any swimming pool for them? Yes, of course. Let's move forward. You can see the swimming pool. We should not disturb their nap. So this is a playing ground for the baby penguins. There are a lot of baby penguins swimming. They look so adorable. We can see that the water is very clean. We can control the water quality to a perfect level. Can you introduce a little bit that why do those penguins sometimes jump and sometimes swim very fast and sometimes they kick? Can you introduce a little bit about their movement or why they can swim?
You can see the shape of their body. It's a floating shape. The line is flowing, so it's very used for swimming. The swimming speed is very high. It's very sneaky here. Let's go down first. And today, through the description of our keeper, Han, we have got a knowledge about the penguins and also raise our awareness to protect the ocean animals. And I really hope through today's live stream of cute penguins, I hope our audiences in front of the video, whenever you have the chance to visit the penguins in the aquarium, not only for the penguins but for also other animals, please be careful to protect them. And that's the end of today's live. Thank you. See you.